I have seen men die before. But that night was different. Death did not creep into our village quietly. It announced itself. The drum spoke before the king stopped breathing, and in our land, a drum does not wake without reason. When the sound rolled through the trees, doors opened slowly. Men stepped outside trying to steady their breathing. Women held their wrappers tightly across their chests. Children were pulled indoors before they could ask questions. No one shouted. No one ran. Because when a drum clears its throat at midnight, you do not respond with noise. You respond with listening. We walked toward the square. Not as a crowd. Not as a procession. Just small movements from different compounds, like shadows separating from walls. The drum stood alone in the center of the red earth. Still. If you did not know better, you would think it had been sleeping all along. But the air around it felt disturbed. Like a room where someone had just left after saying something important. Old Motsi James bent slightly, pressing his palm against his knee as he caught his breath. He did not look at us when he spoke. The king, he said quietly, has gone to sit with his fathers. The words did not shock me. What shocked me was that none of us argued. We knew. You see, in our village, the drum hangs in the king's courtyard. It does not answer to musicians. It does not perform for curiosity. If it speaks without hands, it is not calling dancers. It is marking departure. We moved toward the palace compound slowly. The gate was open. That alone unsettled me. Our king did not leave doors open at night. He used to say that a leader who sleeps carelessly invites trouble to sit beside him. Inside, oil lamps were burning low. And there he lay, his Udo, on his mat, hands resting on his chest as if he had placed them there himself. No sign of struggle. No overturned stool. No broken calabash. Just stillness. It is strange how quiet a body becomes once breath leaves it. A man who once commanded silence becomes the silence. One of the elders knelt beside him. He placed his palm near the king's nose. He did not flinch. He simply nodded. That nod traveled through the room like a slow ripple in water. And just like that, our balance shifted. Because when a king dies, the ground does not crack open. The sky does not fall. But something invisible rearranges itself. Authority loosens. Eyes sharpen. Old ambitions stretch. I began to notice things I had never paid attention to before. The way one elder stood slightly apart from the others. The way another avoided eye contact. The way two younger men whispered outside the doorway before quickly separating. Grief was present, yes. But so was calculation. And that frightened me more than death. Before dawn, the body was prepared. Women wailed behind closed walls, their voices rising and falling like waves against rock. Men spoke in low tones in the courtyard. One elder said something that has stayed with me all my life. The drum beat once. He repeated it as if counting beats. Once. That was when I understood the first layer of fear. In our tradition, mourning has rhythm. It has repetition. It has a pattern. But warning is brief. Warning does not repeat itself unless ignored. And as the first light began to stretch across the red earth, I felt something tighten in my chest. Because if the first beat marked the king's departure, then what would the second beat mark? The sun rose slowly that morning. Too slowly. And before the village could fully gather itself, before announcements were made, before decisions were taken, the drum sounded again. Not loudly. Not angrily. Just once more. And this time, it was not speaking about the king.